with our log storage?
Well, if you are lucky enough to have a fire, you've got to have logs nearby, right? So you do want to give that some thought. And like anything we say for your house, it's got to work with the vibe, the architecture, and all that. So I've got a couple of examples of what I would call our common ideas. Not that they're boring or plain, but just typical, right?
Well, there's nothing boring or plain about that.
Right?
It's beautiful.
How stunning is it? A big cast iron bucket that's going to hold a lot of hardwood, but it's got that beautiful leather handle. And you'll notice the fire tools also have the leather and wood. So as you're using them, they're not going to get too hot.
I look so chic.
Right?
Look.
That's what happens when you go shopping at Logum 142 in Creemore. So everybody come down because they have beautiful things like that. And then for the more traditional side, I thought, you know what? We all have things around the house that we just don't use enough. This is an example of something I own. Now, we will frequently put this up on a table, fill it with ice. It's got pop and beer. Right. Right. It's a baby bathtub. That's right. But it looks great with log storage. And the silver really pops, so it's pretty, right?
Yes.
So you might have something already that you can use for this purpose.
That makes me want to come to your house for your parties.
You are invited.
If that's what you're putting your bottles in and your ice, that's gorgeous. Okay, let's talk a little bit about adding a built-in. Should you think about adding a built-in if you have a wood fireplace?
Absolutely. When we're designing a home from scratch, we always figure out how to build it in, because that way you can get the most log storage and it's very discreet, and you can have enough for multiple flyers, and it's always going to be dry and ready to go. And it's less messy, right? All the dirt goes down to one place at the very, very bottom. So that's by far the best solution. Now, let's say you can't do that. That's not an option.
It's very fancy.
It's fancy, but we fancy like that. I like that.
Yeah, we like that.
But I think also looks really good a bench. So behind you, we've got a teak bench, and it's got all kinds of hardwood there, some cedar and not cedar. What's the other one?
Teak.
Oak. Thank you. Oak.
There you
go. There
Together we make it work.
Exactly. Right beside you. And then over here, again, a cast iron metal bench that's got birch logs in it. So a bench can hold quite a bit of storage, quite a bit of logs, and then you can sit on it as well, which is really nice.
Now, you've also managed to use some other things that might elevate your logs from off the ground, because maybe you don't want everything around the hearth, right?
Well, right. And if you've got dogs, if you've got kids, it's kind of a mess, and you don't really want that. So I think getting it up and off the floor, if you don't have a built-in, by hanging is the best way to go. So this beautiful grape harvesting basket was perfect. I got a rustic nail. If you could see the head of that nail, it's all beat up. Beautiful. And that can hold some hardwood and some softwood. And then I also like to use some pine or cedar boughs in there. You throw them in the fire, they smell so good. So that's really pretty. You could have a whole stack of these vertically, so you could actually have quite a bit of storage, but you do want to make sure you install it on the stud for the wall because of the weight.
That's right. Okay, really good tip there. Now talk to me a little bit about this, because you've used something else really creatively for log storage here.
Right. This is just like every designer's dream, right? Like we all want it to be neat and tidy and stacked. So this is if you have a small fire, it's just a big, beautiful bowl that we use all the time. We fill it with water and float flowers in it or candles.
That's nice.
But it's perfect. I added a little pine around the bottom, stacked some birch logs, and then tied it with a pretty bow. Now, birch is a softwood, so it won't burn quite as long as cedar, oak, maple, pine, that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. You probably need a mix if you're really going to get into wood burning.
Okay. All right. Finally, you've got some gift ideas and suggestions for folks that might have a wood burning fire, and I love these.
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, you have to have a fire starter, right? And there are lots of commercial fire starters you can buy, but check this out. This is untreated poplar and wool. So it's completely natural, and it does the trick beautifully, and you just light those up. So I love this little two set here. They're so neat and tidy. Isn't that pretty? So you get a big package of fire starters, and you can even get the long matches to go with it.
That's beautiful.
Again, from Logum, so pretty. And I do love the long matches. And this one is gorgeous.
Especially in that beautiful jar.
Right, with a little match striker on the back.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you give a nice gift to this person, chances are they'll invite you over for the holidays.
Well, there you go.
Sit by the fire.
Well, I'm thinking about that for my dad. Like, it's very aesthetic. It's very pleasing. The fire starter's gorgeous. And then also the little tiny one there.
The little match striker.
Cute. Yeah, that's lovely.
Sweet?